Why, hello, and welcome to a special report. Why do we look like that, David? Why are our screens way up there? That doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
And it's me, Kyle from Japan, calling in to David Dupko on the Collect All Monsters hotline, and we are here to chat about some really ultra awesome stuff. David, you're a big fan of the Ultraverse, and I'm assuming that includes Ultra Q.
Oh,
Actually,
absolutely.
have you?
And
Yeah,
no, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Go.
I
Finish.
was going to ask,
Finish, finish your
have you
thought.
had a chance to see the Shin Ultraman?
Of course, I've seen Shin Ultraman more than once, and actually, Keith really enjoyed it too. And there's some awesomeness coming our way from that very movie.
That's right. We have some very cool guests to bring on right now. Our good friends Alex and Chris from Seismic Toys. They are here, and we're going to talk about a brand new release that they have coming out for something I'm super excited for, even though this monster was only in the movie for a matter of just like seconds, I think, not even a whole minute. Like we are talking about Shin Gomess, who is at the very beginning of Shin Ultraman. Um, thank you guys both for being here. Welcome to Collect All Monsters for a quick spotlight on your toys. And yes, as as Kaiju Haiku says in the chat, happy Ultra Tuesday.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
appreciate it. Glad to be on.
All right. Well, we got
Yeah.
10 people hanging out watching live right now. Hopefully, we get a couple more. But if you're in the chat right now, if you're watching live, go ahead and throw something in. I see Helmy, my man who I just hung out with in Osaka. Albert Escobedo here as well. And yeah, we'll throw some more comments up on screen as we go. But I wanted to just get started here. Let me blow you guys up a little bit. Who wants to talk about the birth of Seismic and basically let's talk about some of your past releases.
Sure. Yeah. Chris, you can go ahead and chat about it. It started with Chris selling toys at G Fest. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, so about
Right on.
2018, we started sort of loosely working together, me and Alex, behind the table. We kind of combined forces. And then it became I would say probably a few months after that G Fest, Alex is like, hey, I'm working on something. I want to show you. I got an idea. We would always talk about making a toy, stuff like that. It was always kind of a pet project dream of ours. And he was showing me the work he was doing on Dawn of the Monsters, his video game. And he showed me Megadon and some of the other creatures. And from there, we were just like, well, let's make this our first toy. And from there, we did a few figures from Dawn of the Monsters. We did both Ganira, which is behind me, and the Megadon. And then in 2020, we acquired the license to start doing Ultraman from Subaraya, and we've been
So
making
cool.
Ultra figures from there. We've done our first one was Juras, which was a huge hit. It's our best-selling figure. And then we did Savanger, and we've done a few different variations painting on Giras himself. And now we're working on some really cool new things.
Fantastic, man. I'm super psyched to have you guys here and talk about this stuff. uh I guess I am familiar with you guys, obviously, from knowing you in the past, and also, if I haven't said it before to you, Alex, great job on Dawn of the Monsters, and
Thank
both
you.
of you. I think those figures that you guys have put out for the game have been fantastic. I really love the colors on those too. They pop, really pop. So
Thank
excellent
you.
work. So how did you decide to include Shin Gomess in your Ultra Vinyl Odyssey lineup?
I think it was a number of factors that kind of came together because on the one hand, we'd been talking to Joe, right, Dopo, for I want to say almost a year before we even started working on Gomez because he was like, I like you guys, we should work on something. And I was like, yeah, we should. And then
Wow.
we got basically the notice from, so like for a while, our license was just, kind of limited to like the TV shows. And then we got a
Mm-hmm.
notice from Subaraya. They were like, hey, do you guys want to make Shin stuff? And we were like, yeah, absolutely. We were thinking about what to do first. And we were like, well, there isn't really like that like we loved Gomess. There wasn't really a toy of Gomess that we thought was like really great from Shin Ultraman. Like there's the Bondi, which I've got. It's actually a pretty slick sculpt, but like, you know, it's small and it doesn't have like a super detailed paint job. It's like a $30 toy, right? So we were like, this seems like the perfect opportunity to work with Dopo. Let's do Gomez. And we talked to Subarai, and they're like, yeah, it's all good. Let's move forward. And I tell you, Dopo's like a beast with the when it comes to sculpting. Like he had drafts like instantly. He was just so excited to work on it. So that's kind of how it got started.
Fantastic.
These images are phenomenal, by the way. I'm really, really loving them. Great photography.
Thank you. Yeah, it took us some little model kit building, a little ingenuity, some decent weather.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm glad you chose to do some outdoor shots because that's the best way to go. So, all right. Well, let's dive into it a little more. But just before I start, let's just say that Kyle Yount and I are two huge Gomez fans. So, you couldn't get two better people to sort of showcase this awesome piece because we are both super stoked for it. Like I know that for a fact. So let's just get that out of the way. So this is a very realistic sculpt, quite different from Giraffe's. What's the reason for the departure?
Sort of a double question almost. I mean, we love doing the different color variations we did, but we decided we also wanted to try something realistic. We haven't done it before, and we thought this was a great opportunity in this release to kind of change it up a little bit and do that type of figure. You know, we obviously are big fans of different figures like X Plus, and we're big into Sophie and Bandai's and so many other things. But we thought let's try a uniquer approach on this.
Yeah, and I think as well, like knowing we were going to work with Dopo and how like insanely detailed he can get, and also knowing that like in terms of the Gomez stuff, there isn't an X Plus, there isn't like a CCP. Like it's basically either you get this Bandai or you get like a $600 to $800 model kit. And we were like, well, there's got to be some in between for this character in specific. So we wanted to make something a little more traditional. So I've got him here, and like
wow, that is
details
awesome.
pretty intense, and the paint job as well. It's a different way of painting compared to other Sophie, but he's still like, it's lightweight. You can, you know, he's still articulated. He's still a soft vinyl figure, so it's kind of a neat mix.
It's perfect because it's that thin line that I love to sort of like tread on that line between super realistic and Sofubi nuances. This leans more towards the realistic, but it still kind of has some little nuance vibes to it of a Sofubi piece, and I think that's going to appeal to a lot of collectors because personally that middle ground sweet spot is where I feel most comfortable in my collection. But I just think people are going to be stoked to see this, and you know, those of you who don't know, Shin Gomess appears in the very beginning of Shin Ultraman, and if you blink, you miss him. But just don't blink because he's awesome, and I don't even think he's alive for most of it, right? Like he's kind of like spoiler alert. So
he gets put down pretty quick. Yeah,
he went down pretty quick, and but you know, like they always say, quality, not quantity. It's a quality design, and it's an awesome design. And I think it's just very clever that they stuck that in there to sort of whet our appetite for more Shin type updates to classic kaiju. So
yeah, and you know what? It's funny because so Gomez only appears in the movie for a handful of seconds right at the beginning. So you'd think, and of course it's a bit of a, you know, joke. It's a bit of a gag being, oh, it's Shin Godzilla repurposed. Yeah. But like as we were going through and Joe was sculpting and we were looking at the references, they actually put a lot of work into modifying it. And like if you look at the toy, you know, like the amount of detail in every single scale, in the way that he's actually got like a little elbow claw here and then another claw coming out of his forearm. And of course they changed his tail to have like a mouth just to make it even creepier.
Love
Like
it.
there's so many little details that you only notice once you actually get it in hand because he had so little screen time. It's like the best way to really soak in all the details of the character.
Outstanding.
I love that Shin Gomess's tail is not just like, Shin Godzilla with the like mouth thing, but it's almost also like a bird's mouth too, like Litra, his enemy. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
Kyle.
such a
Good.
crazy,
Great observation.
crazy design.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah.
So actually, you mentioned who sculpted this, and he's actually watching live right now. What's up, Dope Hope? Hey, Joe. Thanks for watching. I'm curious, like, when did you guys start working with Joe, and can you talk a little bit more about his involvement with this design? I know you already said he's a beast. We already know that part.
Yes. So we, I mean, Joe's local to me. I mean, I've known him for many years, and we were, I'd say about a year, a little bit over a year ago. He was like, "Hey, let's do something. Let's create something together." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, absolutely." And like, we were trying to figure out what was the right vehicle. We threw a few names around of different characters that we thought. I mean, Alex at the time were a little backed up on some other releases, doing a new version of Megadon and doing the new Jiros. And so when this kind of opportunity kind of came up, we were originally kind of talking about one or two other characters, and then we were like, "Well, hey, we just got this to do the Shin Ultraman property. What do you think?" And he immediately was like, "Yeah, he got it." And I got to say, it was like that initial call of just, kind of walking through it with Joe about, what me and Alex were looking for to do with the toy, what his ideas were, Joe's as well. And it was just a matter of, we looked at a bunch of different references and things we wanted to try with it. And he was like, "Okay, just give me a few days." And 2 days, not even 2 days later, he comes out with this like amazing sketch. And he's like, "Hey, I've been working, like, I've been really interested in this. Like, this is where it is." And the sketch was great. I mean, we submitted the sketch. Actually, it was approved pretty fast, which was great on the Subaraya end.
Yeah, actually,
That's the approval we've ever had was with a Dope Pope design.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
and then once we started going right into 3D, I mean, no more than, I'd say, as soon as we got the approval, we told him, he's like, "Okay, I'm going right into 3D." And then it was days later, he had this just gorgeous first render of Gomess. And I mean, Joe's been a dream to work with. He has such a passion for monsters. He's got a great eye for detail, and he kind of gets it. There's not a lot of back and forth. Working with him in real time, it's cool because you can spin the model, you can try different things, and then I don't know. He was very in sync, and he was awesome. I can't say enough great things about. He's just a fantastic sculptor, and he's just a great guy to work with, hands down.
Well, the love that he put into it definitely comes through in the figure. Like his passion and his excitement, really comes through. And I can't wait to hold it in my hand and see all the details up close and stuff like that. So, let's remind collectors how to get this in their hands.
Yes. So Gomess is available right now for pre-order. We do an open pre-order, so it's going to be available for pre-order until April 25th, after which point we close it. During that time, our goal is that if there's someone out there who wants a toy, we want them to be able to get it. We aren't going to just produce 100 and say, good luck. So you can pre-order it on www.seismictoys.com. Just, direct from us. Happy to do it. But this is also like our first toy that's being kind of widely distributed. So let's say, I don't know, maybe you got like a gift card for Big Bad Toy Store. You can get it on there. If you shop at Entertainment Earth, you can get it on there. If you want to go to, I don't know, Sideshow, you can get it on there. So there's a lot of options for people who want to make sure that, whatever's convenient for you is going to work out. And we're hoping to have this shipping into everyone's hands by like early fall. But if we can get there earlier, we will do our best to get there earlier.
You just anticipated my next question, so that's great. So early fall, that's really not too far off. Some of these, when designers and toy companies announce their figures, it's like so far down the line, it's hard to get excited about it. But that's not that far down the line. So, we've got G-Fest to look forward to. We got Godzilla's, 70th birthday. So This will be somewhere right in between those two. So that's very exciting. And So another question I have: are there any future plans for like color variants or future releases? If this one does indeed sell well, which I'm pretty sure it's going to.
Anything's possible, David. I'll
Okay.
leave it at
All
that.
right.
There's,
Okay.
there's lots of ideas. There's lots of ideas.
Okay. We'll take it. We'll take that. That's not a.
We'll put a pin in that discussion. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it happens, we will definitely be posting about it. So we'll definitely be announcing it if there were something like that down the road.
Yeah, and on our newsletter and all that kind of stuff. I will just a fair warning. If we do more color variants, there's a high chance those might have to be limited as opposed to being open pre-orders.
Got it.
So, if you really want to make sure you get Gomess, now would be the time to make sure. Just because it might be smaller runs for any bonus colors, but
fair
we'll
enough,
see.
Guys.
Yeah.
Sounds exciting. So you have an open invitation to join us and come on and promote your awesome things anytime you want. And we, like I said, at Collect All Monsters are all very, very excited about this, and I got to get my order in. I haven't done it yet.
Don't worry, we'll make sure you get one.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, thanks a lot. I mean, I've been watching for a while, and of course, I've been in the group for a while, so it's great to come on and chat about toys. And I wanted to mention one detail about Gomess that
of course
might be underappreciated in terms of the photos. So this is evidence that Chris and I and Joe are not just toy makers but collectors. So one thing that we've done with all our toys is the tails curve into like an S-like shape, and that's not just because we're Seismic. I mean, it's a bit of a trademark, but the reason that we did that is so if we compare, this is the Bandai Gomess, and this is ours. And so there's quite a size difference. But if you stick them side by side, in terms of shelf, size,
look at that.
We wanted to make sure that even though he's bigger, he's not going to have a huge footprint and be really unwieldy. So the tail curves up. He's got 3 points of support, and you can put him on a shelf. He can be floating. You can do whatever you want. So that's a little toy ergonomics there.
I love that, and I know Kyle does, and a lot of us who have like a lot of stuff in their collections, and shelf space is a commodity. So thank you for thinking of us.
It's the tails. It's always the tails, right?
I have a few figures that the tails are off. I take them off because they don't fit. They're too long.
There you go.
This one looks like we can actually put the tail on, and rest assured it's going to fit somewhere on our shelf.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yes,
Excellent.
absolutely. You guys are nailing it, and I'm so happy that you worked with Joe on this. So happy to see this. I first, as David said, and I'm going to echoing it right now. I love Gomess, and I really did when the teaser came out for Shin Ultraman. I was actually kind of like mad that like they showed that off early. I was like, I would have lost my mind seeing that in the theater. But regardless, it's such a cool design and such a definitely like a nailed concept. Like, yes, of course, Hideaki Anno's Shin Gomess is made up of Shin Godzilla, and like, yeah, just so happy he's getting a little bit of love and getting some releases. And you guys are really knocking this one out of the park, and I can't wait to see this thing in person someday soon-ish at some point in the future, hopefully in my hands.
Well, I'll be coming to Japan in September probably. See if I can swing by.
Awesome, dude. Let's totally hang out when you get here. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's. Dope Pope says he got done dirty in the movie.
Yeah, he did. He totally did.
Thank you to everybody who's watched so far or watched us today for this. And if you haven't checked that out, there's a link in the comments here to the Seismic page. I will also add this to the show notes so that people can just click right below in the description and get to this page so they can order the figure. Alex and Chris, really psyched for you guys. Thank you guys. It's psyched for Seismic as well. Thank you guys for being here and sharing Shin Gomess. Thanks Dope Pope for watching live too, and David for hanging out for a little while.
Of course, wouldn't miss it.
Sign off.
Thanks for having us, guys.
And yeah, make sure you get out there and hit that pre-order before it ends. And that's going to be it. Later on.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks.